Hello, welcome to another construction video. This one is for Tonic's magnificent Mortice gift box die set, which is one of the sets they're bringing out in their Cyber Week for 2021. I'm not 100% sure exactly how much is coming out, but you'll find out with all the videos that I put up this week, all the different bits and pieces that are launching. And this is just going to be a construction video for the magnificent Mortice gift box. So if you're looking for an up-close look at the die set, seeing what it actually makes and possibly some card ideas if I have enough time to put them in as well, then check out my up-close video rather than this construction one. But if you've got the die set, you're confused by the instructions inside and you just want a video explaining exactly how to put it together, then this is the video that you want to be watching. This is the first of these boxes that I have put together, so if I do go wrong, hopefully we'll figure it out together of how it's supposed to go, but I think I know how everything is supposed to join together, so hopefully we'll get it right first time. I've got everything already die cut ready, so that hopefully that will save us a little bit of time as well. And I've also started putting together some portions of the box too, because this is the actual die set. I've put it on one of the magnetic storage cases that Tonic make, and look how big it is. It is literally 2 A4 sheets of dies. It is enormous, and it creates a really big gift box as well, that not only can you just make it as a gift box, which I reckon it'll be about 1.5 inches tall kind of gift box, you can actually layer it, so you can actually build the layers up and create it deeper and deeper and deeper depending on what kind of gift you want to put inside it. Obviously the strength of the box might vary a little bit as you build it up deeper, but you could always like line the insides with extra cardstock, you know, just cut it with your guillotine to the right size, just kind of line the inside. But for this construction video, I'm going to show you a double layered box. So I have already started putting some of it together just so that it saves us a little bit of time in the video. But I'm going to walk you through from bottom to top of the box, I think is the easiest way to do it. So to create the bottom of the box, I mean, usually with a construction video, usually I run through all the pieces you're going to need for the entire construction. However, I think it's going to get confusing, so I'm going to try and split it into different sections so that it makes it easier for you to follow if you're working on whichever section of the box. So, for the base of the box, to create the base, you're going to need 2 of the large squares. Now, in the instructions, it tells you the second largest square. However, I think they're referring to the piece that is for the lid as the first largest square, so it's actually the largest square die from the die set. So on the outside of the die set, in that large square portion, you have the one that creates the lid of the box, then you have a straight edge square die and another straight edge square die, but it is the largest one that you want to create the base of the box, and we can actually test that in this piece that I've already cut. So it is the largest of the actual square dies that you need. So I think in the instructions they're referring to second largest, as in it's not the one that creates the lid, it's the next one in from that. So hopefully that makes sense. But it's definitely the largest square, plain square that's in that set that is the bottom of the box. So you need 2 of these because we want to put one on the outside and one on the inside so that we're securing glue tabs in between them to make it a really nice sturdy bottomed box. Then to create the sides of the box, you are going to need 4 of this piece. This creates the side of the box, and for each layer of the box, because you can build it up in height, you will need 4 of these per layer to create the actual box portion. And then to attach these pieces to the base, you're then going to need 4 of the glue tab pieces, which is this weird looking piece with points on each end and a score line down the middle. So to create the actual base of the box, you need 2 of the largest actual square die, 4 of this side piece, and 4 of the glue tabs as well. And then adhesive wise, you can see on these ones I've already stuck the adhesive onto both sides of the glue tabs, and I've done that for all 4 of them because one side of this is going to stick to the sides of the box and the other side of this is going to stick to the base of the box, so we need it on both sides of these. And then adhesive wise, for these side panels, you want to place your adhesive here and here. So you can see there are like a collection of horizontal score lines in here, and you've got this little pointed piece here. It's the 2 wider portions that you want to put your double-sided tape on. I have just been using the regular tissue tape from Tonic, and that is quite strong enough for this portion of the box. So I've just been putting that along there, snipping that off, and then going along the other wide tab as well. And eventually, once we've pre-folded all of these and stuck them together, you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this. And these are really clever. These little tabs, they actually insert into the next one going round to create this like mortise joint of the box. So really, really clever the way this box comes together. And these weird looking pieces with all these score lines and like the wide pieces of tape, these are going to create these portions of the box. So these are the side panels, and basically what you're doing with this is you're scoring it to give this little like ledge, I suppose, that pops out, but you're adding adhesive here because this portion actually completely folds over and encases that little portion within there, and that's how those little tabs go inside it. So I will show you the actual scoring because I haven't done this one. There are 2 folds away from you and 2 folds towards you to create this. So the first one, we want to fold this in half, and then I'm going to use my glide folder to crease that down. Then the line that is running up to the points on here, we also want to fold that one the same way. So this is folding like away from us to make a mountain fold. Then you have the other 2 either side of this, and you want to fold them the opposite way. So we're folding them towards us to give us the valley kind of fold. So now we have a piece that, if I show it this way, you can see you've got that like little peak in the middle, and that's exactly what we want it to look like. Then to actually stick this together, I'll show you this twice because I've got the 2 to do, but basically this whole flap here wants to completely cover this, but you can see when it's flat, it's longer, the one on the back is longer, but that is because you're making allowances for that ridge or ledge that's sticking out. So the way you get this to go together nicely, what I do is I take that first piece off and I just fold that over, because that is sticking directly onto the one that's there. You don't have to worry about any extra space on that one. That one's sticking straight down. But then you've got this bent piece that's giving you that little ledge. So to get this one to stick nicely, you want this to be folding up, and then the edge of this large flap is going to stick along the edge of the glue tab. So if you left this flat, there's going to be overhang, but you make sure that this little ridge piece that you've scored is popping outwards, and then you can actually get it to stick right up against that outside edge, and that's how you get this sort of cool little ledge sticking out on the edge of the box. You can do it from whichever way round you want. If you want to go from this way you can, or you can go from the other way as well, but you're basically just bending that middle portion, and I recommend sort of pressing on one corner when you get it done, and then just going along to the opposite corner, and if both of those corners are lined up, then you should just be able to press along that main piece to get that stuck, and then you have your side piece. So I'll zoom you in a bit further and try and show you that again. So for putting this together, I like to take the tape off the one that's next to the big flap and just completely fold that over, and then you're left with a piece that looks like this, and you've got that little ledge piece in there, and then you just want to make sure that's folded up nicely, and then remove the backing off of here, and then we'll just get one corner to line up. So you're just basically lining up this right angle with that right angle there, so that the edge is going to be flat along the top. Then press that one together, then go to the other end and line this one up again, and then you can just put it down on a flat surface and press, and you now have all 4 of your sides that have this little channel that's in there, which is how it goes together and what we do with these little tabs on there. There are also score lines on these little tabs that you can bend. They're going to want to bend away from you as well, and that creates this little right angle joint which kind of helps join them all together, and this will actually slot into the previous one like so. So I actually missed this out from the dies that you would need, but to hold these together, not only do those little tabs go inside each other, you also need these little pieces as well, and you actually get 3 on the die, so you only have to run it through 3 times to get the pieces that you're going to need. And I'm actually going to use 4 from purple and 4 from grey. because actually most of these pieces, it doesn't actually matter what colour you're cutting them from, because because we're doing a double layered box, we're going to join two of them together, and the pieces that join them will actually cover these corners. However, this is going to be when I put it all together, this one is actually going to be the top layer of the box, and so I want the grey one to appear under the lid when you take the lid off, because the ones that are going to join the two together are going to be grey. You'll see that later on. But basically these little pieces are what hold the box together. So to do this, to stick them together, we're going to make sure all of these little tabs are folded. I was doing 2 and then 2 and then joining them together. I found that was the easiest way on the previous layer that I've already put together. So we're going to put glue on both of these little tabs, and then we're just going to try and like pinch them together so they're a bit closer together. And then you take this channel that hasn't got the tabs on, and then you're just going to poke them inside. Oh. We're just going to poke them inside, and that glue should help grab on the inside. But obviously, to make sure that's an actual really strong joint, we're actually going to add these little pieces on to hold it all together as well. So I'm going to go with the grey around the top and the purple along the bottom, but obviously you can do them all the same colour. This one is actually going to be my base, but I pre-made one ready, and I've done purple on both sides, although they will be covered by grey ones eventually. So it doesn't actually matter what colour most of these are, and you can look at the picture on the packaging to kind of you know, realise what colour you might want to cut bits and pieces out of. That's how I sort of figured out my colour schemes. I sort of looked at the one that was on the packaging. I don't have the packaging, I had a picture of it. But I looked at the one that was on there and kind of figured out how I would want the colours to kind of go together. So that is one right angled corner piece. And then how I did it was I made this one as well. So we can glue this onto here, again kind of like holding them together a little bit, and then poking both of those little tabs inside that little joint piece to bring them both together. And then we're going to go with the grey one on the top and the purple one on the bottom. Oh yeah, and when you're placing these, you want the curved portion to go near the ledge and the two straight edges to go along the top or the bottom of this piece as well. That's how you're positioning them when you stick them on. And then we'll do the purple one on the bottom. And we want that to go up the opposite direction. Okay, so we've got our two halves of one sort of ring of the box, or the base of the box. And then now we want to join these two together, and I've just realised that I have stuck them on up the wrong way. Typical. Okay, I think I'm just going to get around that by... So if you are doing different colours on the two different ones, make sure you check which way these tabs are, because that tab needs to go in there, but I've stuck the pieces on the wrong way up. So just to combat that, I've got an extra grey one here. I'm just going to stick that over the top of that purple one that I put on there. And then that hides it, and no one will know except you lot that I put the wrong colour on there. So that's now fixed. So to get both of these to go together, we're doing the exact same thing, except I did them both, like I put the glue tabs inside one after each other, and then I went on with the semicircles to finish off the sort of join of it. So we can put this one inside here, and then go round and put glue on this one. You've got just enough time to sort of wiggle this around and get the semicircles on before the glue dries, which is nice. So we've got that one on, and we've got that one on, and then now I'm going to check which side is the grey ones, and put the grey on there. And you can kind of bring these two portions together. Sometimes they're a little bit apart, so you can like push them together so that they're making a nice right angled corner on there. And then we'll do the purple one on the bottom. Okay, and then we can do the other side. And we're going to do the grey one on the top again. Okay. And then the purple one on the bottom. You can see why I pre-made one of these, because it's a little bit of a lengthy process to kind of put it all together, and explaining it as well takes longer too than just putting it together. So now we have the actual main kind of ring of the box. So if you're going to stack multiple layers of the boxes together, you will need all of the pieces that I showed you before, minus the bases, but plus 4 of these pieces as well. That's how they are held together. But as well as holding the 2 layers together, I think these are really nice to add on the inside here as well, to reinforce those corners. So I've got 4 of these cut, which I'm going to use my guide folder to score. And I'm actually folding these professional edge inwards, so that when we stick them on, the professional edge is showing on the inside of the box. And then we're literally just going to stick these right in the corners. And I've, when I did it on the previous one, I butted them up to the top of the little ring in here, so that I want the top to be the grey. So I'm going to butt them up to the top. And I think this just helps strengthen those corners and like hide any of the kind of joins in that top corner as well. And I think it will make it stronger for the lid going on too. I don't think it tells you to do this in the instructions. I don't remember seeing it. So I thought this would just be a nice little extra to make sure it's really nice and sturdy. Okay, so now we've got all of those on. For however many layers you want to do, you then just repeat this, and you need the glue tabs to secure them together, plus 4 more of these, because we use these to secure the 2 levels together as well. But first, before I dive into that, I'm going to show you how to put the base on the box. This is actually the base of my box. I'd previously made this one to save time. And you want to add the glue tabs on the bottom of the box. So we are going to add glue tabs to this one as well, actually, because I want to use the glue tabs to hold the 2 layers together. It doesn't actually tell you to do that, but I think it's going to make it stronger. So basically all you do to add the glue tabs is literally just take the, no, I don't need to fold it on this one. You would fold it first, but because I'm using this to hold the 2 together, you don't need to fold it if you're doing that. And then we're just going to line it up, so we're lining up that score line with the edge of the box, so that it'll be nice and flush on there. And I'm going to use that to secure the 2 boxes together and be extra reinforcement in there. So then you just want to do that to all 4 sides, and when you're doing it to add the base on, you fold them, and then you have the other line of tape showing upwards. So to then attach the base of the box, I've got my base pieces here. I want to take the tape off of all of these glue tabs. This is pretty sturdy actually, holding it like this. It does stay in a nice square, so hopefully it will be pretty easy to get the base on the box. It should stay nice and square. So I want to use the dark purple on the outside, because I've used the dark purple for the main base of the box. So we can just place that on to one side, lining up this edge, and we can press that in place. We can even pick it up and pinch it like I normally do, and then we can just carefully lay this down to get it to line up with the rest of the box. So we're just carefully making sure that this line is straight and that that's sticking on there nicely. And we can bring this round and check that this side is straight, and press that down, and then finally check that that last side is nice and straight. And then you can press down from the outside, but you can also press down from the inside And then I've also got one to line the inside. You don't have to do this. I just think it looks a little bit neater to line the inside. And it's going to be a very snug fit in there. But I think I am still going to add some adhesive anyway, even though it's going to be a nice snug fit. So I'm just going to take some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive and then put a little bit on top of these glue tabs is mostly where you want it to stay stuck, I think. Don't think you need to put that much in the middle, but I will do a scribble just to make it, you know, nice and secure in the centre. And then I think I'm going to put it down from one side. So if I push it right into that corner, and then press down. You could cut a hair off the edge of this if you wanted to as well. Like if you wanted to make it sit in there even nicer, you could actually trim a tiny sliver off of the edge using your guillotine or your paper trimmer, or you could just poke it in there and then use your glide folder to get it right down into the corners nicely. So then you've got the nice inside of your box lined really nicely. And then we're going to move on to the second layer. So when you're doing the second layer, you create the exact same as the box, but you don't have the bases for the box, but you still need the glue tabs like I was telling you earlier. So let me just I'll just do this off camera, adding the rest of the glue tabs because you've already seen me do it once, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've added all 4 of the glue tabs on here, and actually I thought I'd just mention, some of you might be thinking, why do we have to add the glue tabs on separately when we would need the glue tabs to stick the box together? And I think the answer is that they have done it so that they could get more bits and pieces in the die set, because if they had added this extra piece to the main side panel of die, I think it would have stopped them from being able to fit the mini boxes that fit inside the box onto the die set. So I'm pretty sure that's why they've done it individually, in case you're wondering. But it does also make it versatile, I suppose, for other things. If you're really inventive and you've got a really creative brain, I reckon you could use the side panels for other bits and pieces as well, and not having that glue tab on it might be a bonus too, or actually having a separate glue tab, because a lot of the time we want to try and join boxes together that weren't intended to be joined together. So actually having that extra glue tab die is actually probably going to be quite beneficial as well, because you can easily just trim it down to a different length as well. So I think that's actually quite a good way of doing it actually. Then to stack these 2 boxes together, we're literally going to push one inside the other, and then we're going to use that glue tab to join them together. So you can see how they're going to go inside each other, and then they will just stack nicely together. And then to cover this join here, we're actually going to use more of these little circles with the score down, and that hides the 2 joins together. You do need to add these ones underneath because it holds the boxes together as you're making them, but then you have these extra pieces which they have very nicely given you, and you haven't got to figure out how to cover that kind of thing yourself, but it's actually going to cover all the joins for you and make it look a lot neater. And if you're wondering about those ones still being purple, that is where we are going to add the little legs on there, and the little legs will cover up those ones at the bottom. So that's why I've gone with the grey on the top here. That was the method in my madness. So let's actually see how we're going to stick this together, because remember, this is my first box that I'm making, so I haven't actually done this yet. So hopefully we can figure this out together and it's not going to be too difficult. So I think I'm actually thinking I do want to fold these. You know, I said before don't fold them, that we don't need them to be folded, but I think it's going to help with sticking them together. And I don't think the instructions tell you to put the glue tabs on, but I just think it's going to make it a little bit more sturdy. So feel free to follow the instructions and not put a glue tab, and just use these pieces to hold them together if you want to. But I just felt like this would make it a little bit more secure and hold them together nicely. It wouldn't sort of bow in at the side and you'd see the split between the 2 boxes. So I think what I'm going to do is take one off and get this one situated perfectly on one side first. So we can actually hover that box over the top and line them up right in the corners and get these 2 to meet nicely. Okay, and then press from the inside. So now because we folded that, I think that's going to help us with the rest of the assembly actually. So I think now it's going to be just as simple as holding this in line, because you see what I mean here? This is why I'm thinking the glue tabs are a good idea, because if we only put the corner pieces on, you're still going to see this gap between the two of them. So if we put the glue tab on, it's going to eliminate that gap and make the whole side complete. So that's why I decided to do the glue tabs, but I don't think they are in the instructions. So I think what we're going to do for the next side, we're going to take this glue tab off. This is opposite the one we just stuck on. Oop. And then because we folded it, we can actually pull this upwards, and I might actually take the others off as well now, because it might be trickier to get in there to get the backing off. So if we take the tape off of all of these three sides, but then fold them up on themselves so that the sticky is sort of facing the air and it's not going to stick where we don't want it, then push this down. We're going to have to hold this like this so you can see. We're going to line up those two corners, and I'm just pressing the very end of that glue tab on the inside, just down there. Then we'll line up these two corners, press the very end of the glue tab, and then we're going to push this interior together and press that into place. Kind of dented that little piece. Okay, so now we've got the two opposite sides together. And then, because we've already taken the tape off of these, it should be pretty simple just to press from the inside and secure these glue tabs down together. And then we're actually going to have more of a completed box, I think, than if you didn't put the glue tabs on. Okay, it does make it look a little bit messier from the inside, but there's nothing to stop you from taking some more cardstock or some patterned paper, actually, and cutting rectangles to line the sides of this, depending on how tall you're actually going to make it. And this is actually pretty sturdy, so I reckon you could go 3 or 4, maybe even 5 stories high, depending on like what kind of size gift you're going to put in this, or whether you're going to put lots of small gifts inside it and use it as a big gift box as well. So that is the two of them joined together, but now we want to cover all of those joins on the sides. So we're literally going to fold the other 4 of these in half, and then use our glue to add them onto those outside portions, hiding those previous ones that were on there. And it just makes a lovely neat finish. You can see I actually used one of the decorative panels on this as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to add another one. I could add another one here, but the lid is going to overlap this portion. I haven't actually done any panels for the edge of the lid. There isn't actually one that decorates the edge of the lid, but you could use these ones if you wanted to, actually. Yes, because it is going to have corners on it. Oh no, it's not. You could put corners on it though, and then use one of these on the side of the lid, so I might actually do that. I'll do that off camera though, but... Okay, so we're just going to glue the rest of these and add them on. And it'll be covering up that mistake of putting the grey one on the bottom, so it doesn't matter. And then do the next one. This really is making it a lovely sturdy box, having all of these extra like corner pieces and stuff to hold it all together nicely. And I think adding them on the inside like we did earlier is really making it nice and stable as well. So that is now the 2 layers completely stuck together, and if you wanted to do a 3rd layer you would build another one of these and have more of these pieces and more of the glue tabs and stick it on top again, just how we did the 2nd layer. So really easy to kind of do that. Then we've actually got legs for the box like I was telling you earlier. So to create the leg for the box, or each leg for the box, you need one of each of these for each leg, so you're going to need 4 of each of these to create the 2 legs. This one, I've folded this, so this is professional side, I folded it away from me down this crease and then away from me for these 2. And for this one, I've got the professional side there, but I folded it towards me, so the professional side is on the inside and I've folded towards me, and then I've also folded these down towards the professional side as well, because this piece is going to fit inside here, so I thought you might as well have the professional side showing. So to create your legs, and you're going to need 4 of these, you're just going to take a little bit of glue, put it on one of these little triangles up here, and you just take the other triangle and fold it over the top and then press it in place by pinching it together. You do exactly the same on the bottom, just add glue to one of the triangles and then pinch it together. And then this portion you do exactly the same with, and put glue on one of the triangles and then fold it together and pinch it together as well, and you can wipe off any excess glue if some squidges out. So now you have these 2 pieces, and then to make the actual leg, this is going to be the part that sticks onto the box. This is going to be the base of the leg. To make this a little bit stronger, and because this part overlaps onto the top of your box, you're then going to stick this inside, so your box is actually going to rest on this, and then this is going to stick over the corners of the box. So that's how you make the little leg portions. So we're literally just going to put glue on these 2 curved sides and the bottom triangle, and then we can just place that inside there to finish off the actual leg. And this is why I did the professional side. I folded it the opposite way, so the professional side is seen in here rather than the sort of scratchy looking side where all of the dents from your cutting plate are showing. If you do it with the professional edge, I mean, I don't think anybody's really going to look under the box and look at the inside of the leg, but if they did, it looks a little bit nicer doing it that way round, and it's not doing any extra because you need that piece in there anyway. So that is how you make the leg, and you need 4 of those. And then all we're going to do is just add the legs onto the box. So this semicircle piece is going to cover the semicircles that we stuck on there to hold the box together. So we're going to go around those 2 semicircle or quarter circles, and then along that little triangle, and then you literally just slip it on. You can hold it for however long you need for the glue to take, and you can press from underneath as well to get it to stick nicely. So now we've now got a little leg on the bottom of the box, and we'll just go round and add the other 3 as well. It's such a simple little design, and you could add this to any box. It doesn't have to be just for this box. I think any box with right angled corners is going to work for this. So it's a nice little die to have in your stash actually, if you love making your boxes or making them look a bit more fancy. It's a nice little die to have in your stash to be able to add that fancy leg to them as well. And then final one. So now we've got our double layered box with legs on there, and it's actually really sturdy. It's really nice and weighty and sturdy feeling, this box. So I think it would actually hold a decent weight, but if you were planning on making it for something that you knew was really heavy, you could omit putting the legs on the bottom as well, because it still looked nice with the little semicircles going around the corners. So you don't actually have to put the legs on, but they make a lovely addition. Then the next part of the box is the lid of the box. So we'll put that to one side, and to create the lid of the box, you need one of this piece, which I've added tape to all 4 of the glue tabs on this. Then you need 4 of this piece. Now again, the reason why the edges of the box aren't already done for you and you have to add these pieces on, even though they're only 5mm longer, the reason is this die would be too big to go through any of the die cutting machines, because it is already measuring about 7 3/4 inches. So if they added on those extra 5mm, it wouldn't cut properly because it would be too close to the edge of the plates. So the way they've gotten around that is they've given you this main piece, but then they've given you these edge portions which you can stick onto the box to create the actual edge of the box. And actually the great thing about doing this is, because they could have made these side pieces wider and just done it on 2 sides, and then you would cut this twice, flip one round, and you know, put that on there, but that would require 2 A4 sheets of card. If they've done it this way, you get this piece and you can get all 4 of these out of one A4 sheet of card. So it's saving cardstock because you don't have to double up on the top piece for the lid, and you can actually use these scrap portions of the bottom piece of the cardstock to get the edge portions out. So I'm pretty sure that's why they have done the lid this way, in case you're wondering as well. So I've also got my decoration there as well, because you get some fantastic layering dies in here, which will obviously just be great for your card making anyway, and they go down to some lovely small sizes. So if you love making small size cards like I do, some of these nesting squares right in the middle are going to be fantastic for creating little square toppers, or maybe shaker apertures or something on your cards as well. So to actually make this box, we want to make sure we're going to stick each of these side pieces on, so the glue tab is always, you know, you've always got one glue tab to one no glue tab, so it's going to go together nicely. And we're just going to take the tape off of here and then line it up. So we're going to line up that top corner there and then bring it down here, and we're lining up right against the score line with the edge of this cut piece. And then we can add the next one on. Again, remember, no glue tab to glue tab edge. And we can just line that up like so. Oops, that's not quite in line. There we go. And press that down. And next one. And then press that down. And then final one. We can line right up to there. And then bring that down. And every time I'm adding the next one, I'm kind of butting it up against the previous one there. So they're going to be almost touching when you get to the glue tab and the edge. They're like butted right up against each other all the way around. Then the rest of the lid is really simple to put together. We're literally just going to pull these glue tabs around. However, I want to get a nice bit of pressure to stick the top decoration on, so I'm going to put the decoration on first. So all I have done is taken lots of the different layering dies, and I actually is that in focus? I'm not sure if it's focusing down there, but you can see what I mean. I actually selected like different layering dies, missed out some in between, so that I could pinch the inside of the layers. So if I turn this over, I use 3D foam to mount it up, but this purple one is actually missing the centre because it's up here, and this grey one is missing the centre because it's up here. So I've actually just sort of stacked up the centre of it with foam tape, but it's saved on cardstock then. You only had to use a purple piece that was this size and a grey piece that was this size, rather than having to cut into multiple sheets to create the top decoration. So I've just done it that way and layered, alternating the different colours, and I even took a scrap of this this kind of iris coloured card and put it behind the purple on that layer as well. And then we can just take off the backing on this foam tape that I've got under here, and I've also put double-sided tape around the edge as well, just to make sure it's really nicely stuck down. And we can just take this off. Obviously there's loads of different ways that you can decorate the top of the box. Maybe, actually that would be a good idea. You could create this as like a Christmas card box for somebody to give them as a gift, or for birthdays and all different celebrations. And you could put actual greetings cards inside there, because I didn't actually check it, but I don't have an envelope here, but a standard, you know, sort of roughly 6x6 kind of card would fit in there absolutely perfectly. So with the envelopes as well, you could do this as a lovely set to give somebody a whole set of square cards, which I think would be really lovely. And I was just thinking, for the decoration on the top of the box, you could then maybe reuse an old Christmas card and just cut the top off and stick it on the top of the box, or something as well. So we're just going to add this straight in the centre of that box. I could have added tape under here, but I actually quite like that looseness of it. It gives like an extra shadow like I've left here. And then all we're going to do is take off the red liner tape on the glue tabs, fold over any excess, and then you're literally just pulling these round and sticking them down. So the lid is really, really easy to do. Just going around all four corners and putting all of those glue tabs in, just like a regular kind of box that you would get from Tonic. And then I presume that they have made this so that it is a tiny bit bigger than the actual base of the box, and actually we know that because the base die for the box is nested inside this die, so we know that this is going to be slightly bigger than the base so that it will fit on there really nicely as your final box. And that looks really lovely actually. It's really nice and decorative and a nice size. A lot of Tonic's boxes tend to be on the smaller size because they're part of a kit or something, but this is actually a really decent sized box. And what I was saying before about the little corners, I do think you could add them. Yes, you can. So you can actually add the corners on the top of the box as well, on the lid, which is not that necessary to do, but actually I think I might do it. I think it would look quite nice. I'm not sure whether to do it facing upwards or downwards though, because we could do it the opposite way to what's on the box. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to zoom back in because it doesn't seem to want to focus further out. So I've got 4 extras of these, and we're just going to stick these on. And then because I've done this, I can actually go and cut some more detail with one of those dies and add that in between, because the detail dies that you get, I think there is 4 different options that you can do for the side pieces. They actually have that curvature on them that goes round these pieces, so it will look really lovely to add one along the side of the lid when you have these corner pieces on there as well. So we can just add these around the corners just to sort of finish off the corners, make them stronger as well without impeding the lid fitting on the top of the box too, because we're putting them on the outside. It's not going to mess with how the lid fits on the box, so that's nice to know. Okay, and then now we have finished the box. You might have thought we were finished, and this video is probably extremely long already, but we can put the top of the box on. And then it also says in the instructions, but I'm not 100% sure what they mean about putting it together, but it says in the instructions that you can use 4 of these pieces. Well, actually, it didn't say how many of these pieces, but some of these pieces, which are part of the leg, it's the interior portion of the leg, apparently you can use these to create a little knob to go on the top of the box so that you can well, lift the lid off with that if you wanted to. That's why I've put these little ones in the centre, so that it will focus your eye to the little centre knob piece in the middle. So I think it does actually work, but it's a bit fiddly. And I'm sure if you have other Tonic die sets, there are lots of other options for like a little knob or handle that can go on the top of the box. So I think you probably would be better off going to find one of those rather than trying to turn this piece into a handle. But I think it does kind of work. And then I think we would just want to put one of these squares on the top to make it look neater, because it looks a little bit messy. And it's not quite all sticking together properly. Need a bit more glue maybe, yeah. Okay, so it kind of works. So as well as this main Mortice gift box, or magnificent Mortice gift box, it also has extra little boxes that I think are just designed to fit inside this. I'm not sure if, yeah, they might actually be designed to put 4 inside this actually, but I have only cut 2 of them. I've cut 1 of each type, so there's 2 types of little boxes that will fit inside this big box as well. So for the easiest one of these, you will need 2 of these side panel pieces, and I've already decorated mine just with some of the gorgeous pretty panels that you get in there. Then you will also need 2 of this piece. Now there are square dies that are separate to the main set of nesting square dies, and these are the dies that we're using now. These are the ones that are separate from the main set, and we're actually using the largest. There's two that are nested inside each other. We're using the largest to create the base of the box, and again I've done two of them, so one's on the outside, one's on the inside. But then you also need to cut both of those nesting ones together to give you the top of the box. This is an opened topped box, this one, and you also get the square out of the centre. You don't need this, but I was thinking you could put it in the middle of the bottom of the box if you wanted to, or you can just keep this for another project as well. So to put this one together is going to be really simple, definitely compared to the main box. So we're just going to take, I need to score or pre-fold all of these actually, so that everything folds away from you with this one. It's really simple, just a real basic little box. So everything folds away from you, and then we're literally just going to stick the two of these together to make one long continuous four-sided piece. So line that up. So we're looking to line up the edge of the cut line to the edge of the score line in a straight fashion, but also we're lining up the horizontals so that the score lines go all the way across. Then we can bring this little box round, and we can join the fourth side together. So again, doing exactly the same thing. You can actually do this flat if you want to. So we could push those glue tabs flat, pull this round, and then pull this one round and line it up and press it into place. And then you get your main basis of your square box. Then you want to do the base of the box. No, actually you want to do the top of the box first. Yeah, we'll do your top of the box first, because I think you might want to pinch from the inside, and it's going to be easier if the base of the box isn't on there. So we're going to, oh thank goodness I put these both up the right way with the pattern going all the way around. So this is how the top of the box is going to look. We're literally just layering that over the top of those glue tabs that are on there. Now the tape I've used is slightly wider than the glue tab, so I'm going to fold that back a little bit. And we're going to do what I usually do for putting the base or the top on a box, where I do one first. So we're just going to line that up, the cut line against the score line, and then pinch from the inside to get that first side on. And then all of the other sides we can take the tape off, and remember to fold that extra bit of tape in. You could use a 3mm tape if you wanted to, but I just had my 6mm roll ready, and it's just a tiny bit narrower than the 6mm, so you kind of just need to roll that last little bit of tape upwards so that it's not going to be sticky showing through the aperture on the top of this box. Okay, and then we can come in a little bit closer, and then you're just going to pull this down, and we're lining up the side of this. So going all the way up to the corner and making sure this side is nice and straight, and then we're just temporarily kind of pressing that in place. And then we can do this side as well, and then check that this one is in place, and then we can press down firmly. And because we didn't stick the bottom on yet, we can actually press from the inside to pinch this on, or if you had already stuck the bottom on, you can just pinch around like this as well. Then I've just realised we should have put the bottom on first, because now I can't do my double bottomed piece, but we can get around that because we can put the inside piece in first, and then we can press that from the inside once it's on, I think. Might have to put a bit of glue in there as well. Okay, the other way to do this then, because I've been stupid and put that top piece on first, so I can't get the other base inside once the main base is on, what we can actually do is go on the reverse side of this, so you've got the unprofessional side showing, then use some double-sided tape all around the edge of this. And then we can take edge off of this and we can stick one onto the interior. So basically, usually we would put that inside, but because I've already put this piece on, we need to do it this way. Should have really thought about it more first, but so we can add this one onto the inside of that glue tab. Instead of sticking the outside one on first, we're sticking the inside one on first. And then we can just remove the rest of this adhesive. And then lay this base down and push that side in. And then to get that to stick nicely, we can press from the other side. And then we can do the same for the two side flaps as well. And we can press from the inside to get that to stick onto those glue tabs nicely. So it's just as easy actually to do it this way. And then all we're going to do is remove the Redliner tape that we'd already put on the glue tabs. And we can actually add a little bit of glue on here as well, so we're sticking both of the bottoms together nicely. And then all you got to do is line this one up over the top. There we go. So it didn't matter that we did it the wrong way around. And then you have that lovely box to go inside of your main Mortice box. And you can actually place that on the interior. Now, I actually decided to put my panels on with 3D foam. That might have been a bad decision, because if it is supposed to fit 4 in there, they might not fit if you've put foam tape to stick the panels on. But anyway, it's a lovely little extra decorative box whether you put it inside here or not. It's just a lovely extra box. Then there is also another box design that you can make for the inside as well. So if you want to do the other box design, you will need 2 of these side pieces with all of your adhesive on, 2 of these side pieces with all of your adhesive on. Then you will need 2 base pieces like we did before, and we won't do it wrong this time. I'll just be showing you both ways of how to put the base on the box, so it's quite nice doing that anyway. We need this piece for the top, which I've used the decorative panels to decorate, and this is a separate die as well. And again, these square bases are from the separate square dies that aren't part of the nesting squares. So you need 2 of those. This one's just a standalone die actually that cuts out this portion, and you actually get this cool piece which could make something interesting on another card as well. And then for the locking mechanism, you need 1 of these little donuts, 1 of these that kind of looks like a smiley face with a big mouth. You need 1 of these, and then you need 2 of the fall away pieces. So you do actually have to cut 2 of the donuts, but you only need 1 donut to make the locking mechanism. Again, I haven't made this before. I think I understand how it works, so hopefully I'll get it right. But we're kind of putting it together, so hopefully we'll figure it out. So, pre-folding wise, we're folding everything away from us. And the same on this side panel as well. And then for the actual closure mechanism, we obviously want these to be opposite each other so that the actual box is going to close, because if one was here and one was here, it wouldn't make much sense. So these ones are going in between these kind of panels. So it's slightly more complicated than the other one because we've got more sides to stick together, but it's still a very simple kind of box to go together. So we can just line up, again we're lining cut edge to score line, and then lining the horizontals as well with these score lines so everything's in line. Then we want the next one of these. And then we want the last smaller side panel as well. And then again, this is a square box, so we can fold that over, take the tape off of there, and then fold this over as well to get it to stick together. And then you have your actual square portion of the box. Now we're going to stick the base on and not do what we did last time. So we're going to fold those over, and then we're going to take the tape off of one of these glue tabs and then put the edge of the square on there. And then we can take off the other 3 . And we can push these glue tabs down and then place the rest of the lid over the top. And again, we're sort of just looking to make sure that the edges of the box are nice and straight when we put the base on. And then we can flip it open and press those glue tabs in place, and then we can just add some glue on the back of the second one. So this is the other way of putting the base on. So if you did accidentally or think you need to put the top portion on first like I did on the previous box, there is a way of putting the base in and doing the double base portion, but this is how I would have done it if I had thought about not putting the top on it first. And then you can just slide that in and place that on there. Then for the top of the box, we want to place this piece like this, so that when the box closes, I think this is actually a glue tab. I wasn't sure what that was, but I think that's actually a glue tab. And we would place that on, yes, it is a glue tab. So we need to put some, I think, do I put glue? Yeah, I might just put glue on these pieces. But we've got these actual glue tabs here as well. And then these are also going to be glue tabs. And we're going to stick this on like that to create the top of this box. So there's definitely no way you could have got a square inside there if you'd put this top piece on first. So let's do what we normally do and place one of these side pieces on first. And pinch that into place. Then I will take this one off and then put a little bit of glue on these 2 pieces. And then we can line this up along that edge and press that into place and pinch it from underneath. And we can line this side up and pinch it underneath, and then this side is just automatically going down into position. So that's this box, and then this has a unique kind of closure. I think it's supposed to lock to go together. So I haven't done this before, so if I do it wrong, I will cut out the pieces and then show you the right way of doing it. But I think what you do is you are layering them up in this order. So you have the top portion, this portion on the inside, and then this portion, and then these 2 stick together, but they go on the opposite side of the box, so that half of this piece links inside this portion. I think that's how it works. So we are wanting to put adhesive on this and stick this one onto there. Then we want to put adhesive around here and stick this one onto here. So from underneath you can now see this, and then I think the idea is that that slides up into there and locks the box. I think that's how it's supposed to work. So I'm guessing we can then just place it on there and so if that's supposed to go like that, then we need to put glue on half of that, maybe a little bit more, like so, and then place that on there, and then we put glue on this portion, and if we get that to slot into there, place that on like that. It's not going to stick though. Well, we've kind of got the placement there, so... Okay, no, you do it like that. So if you look under there, we're just lining up that semicircle, I think, onto the edge of the box. So I think that is how it's going to work. And then that should slot inside there. Fantastic, that's a really cool mechanism. That is very ingenious. Much like the chai caddy box. I hadn't realised when I did that video that you can twist the lid and it locks it. So it's a similar, well, not similar mechanism, but similar cool engineering to that kind of box as well. So there we go. They are the 2 boxes that you can make that will fit inside your magnificent Mortice box. And I think if you did 4 of them, that you could fit them all in there. But I did put 3D foam on my side panels. So definitely, yeah, if you didn't put it still does fit, just with one of them having 3D foam. But if you didn't put 3D foam on there, you can definitely get 4 in one layer. So you could then layer it up. Oh, wouldn't this be fantastic as an advent calendar? How many layers would you have to make it? 6 layers? And then you put 4 boxes in each layer? Or you could have 2 of them and do 2 3-layered ones. That would be fantastic as an advent calendar. And you could do them in order maybe, so it makes it easier for going down the depth of the box. And then you could easily just put a die cut number on there. Obviously, it's probably a little bit late for this year, unless you're a super speedy crafter. I think it might be a bit late, but definitely for next year, or you could get ahead with all the die cutting for it as well. But I think this would be a fantastic idea for an advent calendar. I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed this construction video for the magnificent Mortice gift box. I have a feeling it's way over an hour, so I'm really sorry, and I'm very thankful to anybody who is still watching as well. If you're interested in getting this die set, I will leave the links to the die set below the video and also on my blog post as well. And if you want to look at the dies in more detail, you might have already watched the video, but if you haven't and you want to look at them in more detail, go and check out my up close video of the magnificent Mortice gift box, and I will run you through all of the dies that are in the die set and show you this project as well, and possibly some cards if I have enough time to as well. So thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully it helped somebody at least put this box together if you couldn't quite follow the instructions or anything. So hopefully it was helpful, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!